It's about exposing the vulnerabilities women face.
You have to go to an occasion and people will be like, okay, look at this scary lady coming up. And it was so devastating for me at that time. And I just feel like, okay, if this is how the situation is going to be, then I have to accept myself. I have to embrace what I am.
It's about being ready to speak out for our own rights.
If you see a nice girl, then the assumption is that she enticed the man. What was she wearing? My dear, it does not matter what a young girl is wearing. It is not enough grounds for you to rape the girl.
We are always striving to reach the top, no matter what.
Every woman must know that she has a deep-seated strength. That strength that can put her over every hurdle. And that strength could actually encourage you to do more than you think you can do.
We are frank about who we are.
We all have something, no matter where you find yourself. Let somebody remember you for something good, because you need to put yourself on the line, because some people have done it so that you can go to school, so you can have a voice, just to make sure that women's voices could be heard.
And in today's world, we do have a say.
Actually, they are drunk. We do have a voice. With that voice, we can change the world. With that voice, we can take command of our broken communities.
Women's Voice, weekdays on GBC24 at 4 p.m. and on Mondays on GTV at 4 p.m. Women's Voice, articulating the issues affecting women and sharing their unique stories with the rest of the world.
Hello, many thanks for joining us. This is Women's Voice. My name is Selike Makolacha Palu. You're welcome to the program. Today on the show, we are looking at violence against women, the case of assault of nursing mother by policeman. Here in Ghana and in various parts of the world, women face violence, and violence against women has been considered as one of the most debilitating factors that hinders the progress of women or the development and advancement of women. But particularly in our society, it's estimated that 52% of women have experienced abuse of some sort or of some form at some point in their lives. More damning is the fact that many within our society feel that it is acceptable for a woman to be beaten and physically beaten for misbehaving or for as a means continually kept on assaulting her publicly in the clear view of the staff of the bank and people who were standing by. There was also a gentleman to the baby but allowed the woman to be beaten. Developments following that video circulation is that the policeman has been interdicted and arrested and is currently on bail. A statement released by the police service indicates and condemns the act, saying that they will deal with the policeman and investigate the matter. Several groups within the country have also come up, especially women advocacy groups, to condemn the act. We've also had people questioning the behavior of or conduct of policemen when they are on duty and on guard. Today on the program, we're going to look at the entirety of the issue as how we as a people treat women when we consider them to be misbehaving, and this need for a woman to be beaten, whether it's in her home or publicly, or beaten by a sibling or any other thing for doing wrong. This is Women's Voice, and today on the program we have two women who have been passionate about this issue and are involved in their various ways in helping educate the public and in getting people to understand that this is unacceptable and this case must put an end to the phenomenon of violence against women. My first guest seated to my extreme left is a private legal practitioner, and has been at the forefront of pushing several fronts and agendas to ensure that justice is brought to this woman who was assaulted. And she's also leading a team of women, market women. Tomorrow, depending on what happens, to ensure that the victim in this matter is compensated by the company where she was assaulted with 500,000 Ghana cedis. She's also a human rights advocate. My first guest is Mary OHENEWA AFFUL. You're welcome.
Thank you.
It is great to have you join us for this particular conversation.
I'm grateful.
Also joining us is another women's advocate, and she's also been very involved in working with women who are less privileged, particularly headquarters Kaya Ye, who work on the streets and are exposed to all forms of discrimination, violence, and danger. She's worked with this group of women and other vulnerable groups of women and the youth for several years, advocating that these groups of people be protected, especially from violence and abuse. My guest, second guest, is director of the Pure African Youth Development Platform, Reverend XORNAM KEVI. You're welcome, Reverend. It's great to have you join us. I'll begin by picking your reactions or response to the video when you chanced upon it. And we do have the video, so as we speak, we will be showing that video. And if our producer is there, you can pull up the video so that viewers understand why we need to talk about this. Even though this is public knowledge, it's important to emphasize. Let me start with you, Aku. Your response, initial response.
I think that I was just going on Facebook,
right,
and then I saw a video of a woman being beaten. Her face was not very clear, but it was like a live video, and she was being beaten, and the man was beating her with all sorts of, with the umbrella, with the hand, to an extent that the officer fell on the floor. I don't know what anger he was, working with, but I was alarmed. I was like, what is this and where is this? And it was very good for us as a nation and for the kind of response that people gave to it, because all of a sudden everybody started sharing. So the whole Facebook, I kept seeing the video, and I was like, what video is this? And for me, it was alarming, especially because it was in a banking hall. And knowing the conduct of people in the bank and all that, very professional people and all that. So I was wondering whether the woman was a thief. My first reaction is that maybe she had gone to steal money, so that is why she was being beaten. So for in the first instance, because I did not know the particular.
And that's the video popping up there.
Yes,
you can see.
Yes.
The struggle.
Yes.
Even at the time, and how she kept clutching onto her child.
Yeah.
Now this other man who seemed to be trying to help was sort of just trying to protect the baby, but allow the woman herself to be assaulted.
Yeah.
And that's it, dragging
that
her all the way.
Part of it. In fact, it's difficult to watch. When she was being dragged on the floor, it's so difficult to watch.
And you see, the guy just fell.
And look at how the baby was being handled. This is a very serious issue. Even in the international, world, it is very serious for the image of Ghana.
You were talking about your initial response, and you should, when you see it, every time you see it again,
yes, and
something inside you just.
And then the second part, you realize that, and now Obano Cram found, Obanen found. So it was as if what had happened to her was right, and that she was not protecting the baby. So in protecting the baby, she should just walk out of the bank. And also, for me, the first instance, it was alarming, and I don't like it when I see people being assaulted in this way, but I didn't understand what the instance and why she was being beaten until later when I got to understand that she had just walked into the bank for her money. And I feel that this is the challenge we have in this nation, that sometimes when you go to places where you have a right to collect what is even yours, I don't know whether the people who have been employed sort of feel they have a right over you. Sometimes based on how you look, based on how you look, based on how you speak, based on how you carry yourself. And these are challenges. This for me, this is just an example of how far we have come as a nation. This has happened to more women. It just happened that this case was publicly put on Facebook. But there are so many, yes, there are so many. And what alarmed me is the one who took the video. Where were you? Where were you standing? And what was the mind with who you took the video? Did you take the video to help the woman, or you took the video for the fun of it? And could that officer have helped that whoever was speaking? And I think that if the guy was employed, wouldn't he listen to anyone? Or they were also scared of being beaten?
We understand that he is a police officer, as per the second statement released by Midland Savings and Loans Company, that he's a police officer who has been on guard there several times. So they have different police officers coming on guard at the bank, and in that statement they tried indicating that he's one of the best they've had. You keep sighing, Mary.
The video, on that Friday, I was so tired. Sometimes I get tired, I break down. So my phone was just on silent, but then I realized that you see it's the same video. When I look at it, before I open, I'll see that same picture showing of the video. And even in the evening, I had received missed calls from TV stations. I was like, what is that? Sometimes I try to treat myself. I said, today I'm tired. But then I decided to, call while the TV station had called me. And they said the video. I said, okay, I'm now coming to look at the videos. I think I was late in watching the video. Right. So the whole night, in fact, I couldn't understand. I was trying to put myself in a situation where I can understand the meaning of that incident. Right. Because as at 2016, I had embarked on a nationwide advocacy program in schools, churches, and all that, markets, and all that. So I also realized I also have time. I must also practice the law. So I was doing it side by side. But from April this year, I had embarked on a full-time advocacy, because these things are happening every day. Do you know what happens to some of us as lawyers, or as human rights lawyers, or feminist activists? The media houses, or because of the public, some of them, they know us, they come to us with these issues. So I decided, let me put these things in a book, educate, because sometimes the effects or the consequences of the assault or the abuse is too serious that you can't even, the cost involved in treating an abused person. So let me educate them so that they can know well in advance what to do to prevent themselves from being caught up in the law. So when this, and I had gone to all the media talking about these things, when this thing happened, in fact, it took me, so I was reflecting over it. So that Saturday morning, I woke up around 1 a.m. or so. Then I started writing. I was trying to write something. Then I was looking at the issues, the grassroots or the root cause of this issue. First of all, is the recruitment process with the Ghana police. How is the recruitment done? If you can just pick anybody, most of these people are party faithfuls or party foot soldiers, whatever. But then you cannot pick people to protect human beings. We are not animals. You can't give them guns to protect us. Then they wouldn't have a good mind frame. Because I think that there should be something wrong with the mindset of that police officer. Then with the actual video, there were beat slappings, punching and all that. These are acts of violence, domestic, physical violence. And then we saw him hitting the woman with the umbrella. That one is, I would term it as of use of offensive weapon. Then also the woman was being dragged on the floor, the baby and all that. What is happening? Then the last show, this is always like a movie. The last show, he was about to pull his gun. That was what pushed me so hard today. I said, no, I can't. I have to stop my schedule. But the whole of this week I've been so busy with this project. Stop everything I'm doing and try and find out what help we can give to this woman. And it's not just like the things I do. It's not just. I just don't want to use it as a case study. It's not just this woman's issue. Then we talk about it. No, let's look at it holistically as women in general, struggling women, poor women, single mothers. Then after that, we also look at poverty-stricken women, coupled with ignorance or illiteracy. So illiteracy and poverty together. What are the policies that a state has for these people? But they are the downtrodden people. So some of us, we must be voice for the voiceless. And I'm so happy to be on this platform. We must ensure. In fact, after this show, I'm expecting that there must be immediate policies for those struggling poor single mothers, those poor people, and they are also illiterate. I understand, maybe we go into there. I want to find out more. I understand there's a LEAP program. What is going on? I don't know what the LEAP program is about. I don't even know where the offices are. Where are the beneficiaries? I want to see that there are structures for these poor women, because elsewhere it is done. Then also, I'm very happy. In fact, I'm doing all these things, talking for this woman, because we have our president, who happens to be a big-time human rights lawyer. So I want to just sit back and observe and see what our president will do to people in that class, poor, struggling single mothers who have been assaulted by police officers. I don't care about the criminal sanctions. That one is in the law. Any lawyer can represent the woman. But we're looking at the assault, the civil damages. We are looking at how can people who have been assaulted by public officers, how can they be compensated? And in law, we know that the issues of compensation or damages, it's all about money. And it has to be commensurate with the injury sustained. Now look at the show of public shame that she went through. Now the video will be there forever. The child will grow up to watch this video. So now we are not just talking about the woman alone, that the baby. What are the policies that the state can have for people, babies in that situation?
I know. The desire to bring out everything all at once is there. But we'll do this in phases. But I do understand your passion. Let me come to you, Aku. The point that Mary raised about the fact that women, particularly who are vulnerable and struggling, have even more of a peculiar challenge as compared to women who are educated. You have been working with women in this area for years.
Yes. So like she was talking about, women in the informal sector have peculiar challenges. Sometimes people want to put all of us in one box and say that women are homogeneous. And then when people hear us talk about these issues of rights, then they say the feminists, the women